The rumors were true. A Nintendo Direct has been officially announced for September 12th, 2025 at 6 a.m. Pacific time, and we will indeed be live streaming this on twitch.tv/Tutsuyama. I hope to see you there. Now, this is actually one of the longest Nintendo Direct. Switch 2 presentation was about an hour long, and the January 2017 presentation also an hour long. We haven't had any general direct in the entire Switch era that was an hour long. This is still breaking history. It's also the first Nintendo Direct to be on a Friday, so lots of new stuff here. And Nintendo has been doing a lot of directs lately, Indie Worlds, Pokemon Directs, a lot of them like pretty frequently throughout the year, especially since the Switch 2 launch. We'll be getting a direct every 2 to 3 weeks, but this also breaks another pattern where they do directs always on Thursdays, Wednesdays, so that's very interesting. Now, the Switch 2 has just launched, and Switch 1 is still getting support, and Nintendo has a lot of games to be dated, and also Mario, so I'm not surprised this direct would be this long, but it is still pretty historical in general. So, what I'd like to talk about today is my predictions for this direct. I think Nintendo has a lot in store for this console, and they need to lay out their future plans for the system to get people interested in the Switch. They might tease some stuff in advance as well, so there could be some very, very big stuff here. Now, here are some of my predictions. So we're going to start with the very obvious thing, which is the anniversary of Super Mario Bros. So September 13th will mark the 40th anniversary of Super Mario Bros., which released in September 13, 1985. And I think Nintendo is going to do a decent now. I think it'll be the one of the reasons why this direct is so long is because Nintendo is going to do a whole segment on Mario's birthday. I think the anniversary of Super Mario Bros. Will be a pretty special one. The first trailer for the Super Mario Bros. Movie will probably be shown here, or even teased or given a poster. And I think they'll be pretty big. It's a second Mario movie, so you don't really need like a bunch of directs to reintroduce it to the audience because they already know what it is. Another thing that will probably show up here is probably merch, of course. Nostalgia for the Wii is in the air. I think we could see ports of Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, preferably in a bundle for $30. What I think Nintendo's next 3D Mario will be shown here. I don't really know what it could be, but the thing is with the Switch 2 is that its design, its look, its games are aiming at an older audience. So with that in mind, I could see the next 3D Mario aiming at an older audience. Now, there are also other games coming to Switch 2 and Switch 1, such as the Fire Emblem 4 remake. That reportedly has been done for years and was leaked all the way back in, I think, 2022, yeah, summer 2022, with Fire Emblem Engage. So I think we will see that here as well. I hope it comes out because that was a big coping thing for the Fire Emblem community. Like it's gonna be a district. It's gonna be a district. We're gonna finally see Fire Emblem 4. And I think for the sake of that community that shows up, personally speaking, I really did enjoy Three Houses. I didn't finish it. I stopped right at the end of the game. I need to go back to it at some point. But I really enjoyed Engage. I thought it was pretty good. I think we'll see a new IP here. I think it could be horror. I wanted Nintendo to do horror for a long time because we got Eternal Darkness a long time ago, but Nintendo hasn't really done that since. This is more of a shot in the dark, but I think it is time for Nintendo to do something with Earthbound. That IP has been dormant for a long time. We haven't really gotten anything since Mario 3 released in 2006. Series base has been done, but I feel like this is the generation where Nintendo will start doing more stuff with Earthbound. I feel like if a remake happens, like a remake of Mother 3, Mother 2, Mother 1, whatever, I feel like a toy won't be involved or it will just be overseeing. If it does happen, I think it'll be by a external studio making the remake or a new game. And if there is a new game, which that'd be fucking crazy, it'll probably buy like a different studio that isn't a toy, a toy won't be involved. Another IP that I think could show up, honestly, I think it might be time for a brand new Super Smash Brothers. I originally thought, well, they weren't going to do it because Sakurai is working on Kirby Air Riders right now, but I generally think that Smash is coming next year, and if Nintendo wants to sell people in the future the Switch 2, what do you tease other than the new Smash? We were very well within range of the new Smash being teased. 8 years since Super Smash Bros. Ultimate release, I think Nintendo will want to tease the next Smash. Also, Metroid Prime 4 will be here along with trailers for Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment and Splatoon Raiders. In terms of third party, I think one thing that we could see, Sega has 4 unannounced games that are coming to TGS, and we still have not seen those. 4 games, and I think one of them will probably be a port. I could see it being, honestly, Metaphor ReFantazio, because that came out last year in October. Pretty recent, and I think it isn't coming to Switch 2. Now, one way you could sell a Switch 2 version when people have already bought it is a port with additional content like a re-release. I think another thing that might show up, honestly, is probably Jet Set Radio. I originally thought that would show up with something like a State of Play, but I feel like that Jet Set Radio would appeal to a Nintendo audience, so I could see that showing up here. Maybe Crazy Taxi. Capcom, I think, will also be here, and there have been rumors rumors during the summer, Mega Man 12 will show up in this presentation. I feel like for a long time, Capcom has been trying to figure out what to do with Mega Man, and they don't want him to stagnate and want him to thrive and sell better in the current lineup, because I feel like people aren't going to pay $60 for just a basic 2D game, so I think they want to evolve the 2D Mega Man formula, and I think Mega Man 12 will have to be a big departure from the formula. That isn't what 12 needs to. I don't think Ace Attorney 7 will be here, might be a bit too soon after the collections. And also, one more prediction from Capcom would probably be the Resident Evil port. Square Enix will probably also likely be here. I think what they will show is probably FF7 Intergrade, but I think another thing they could show, and this is basically a shot in the dark, only give us like a 10% chance of this happening, but I think they could finally show Final Fantasy IX Remake. That's been teased and teased and teased for years. We saw in the NVIDIA GeForce Leak back in 2021 that it was coming. We still haven't seen it. We know it's real. There's been data mines for it. Where is it, Square Enix? I want to see that. That's actually my most wanted wish list here. I think one thing I really want to see here, something from Monolith Soft. Now, there have been rumors of all 3 Xenoblade games, including X, getting Switch 2 patches, but I feel like they would only do that unless they have something new to announce as well. So I think very well we could get an announcement of a new Monolith Soft game, but the thing is, I'm gonna throw my hat into the ring. I don't think it's a new Xenoblade. I think it's a brand new IP, because I think it's too soon for a new Xenoblade, because Xenoblade 3's DLC only came out 2 years ago, and so I think it is, and Xenoblade X just came out, so I think it is high time for a brand new IP from Monolith Soft, probably the M-rated and probably appeals to an older audience. It will likely, it could be that M-rated violent erotic game. Takashi talked about it all the way back in 2010. He's been wanting to make it for a while. If it does happen, I think it'll more likely be along the lines of a Game of Thrones, Western fantasy type of game, something along the lines of like Game of Thrones, which is funny because Square Enix did FF16, which is they're taking Game of Thrones. Sega did, they're taking Western fantasy with Metaphor, and now I feel like Nintendo's going to do it. I think I really want them to do something with F-Zero. I think F-Zero's been dead for a long time, and with the avalanche of kart racers on Nintendo Switch 2, I feel like Nintendo, if they do another racer, they're going to do something different, and I think we could finally see an F-Zero in this direct. And what the F-Zero could be, I don't really know. There's a lot of potential for new F-Zero today with stuff like online multiplayer, like more realism physics. And then another prediction that I have, a Pokemon spin-off. I think Pokemon has been lacking in spin-offs recently. We don't really know what Pokemon is doing after ZA, and with the 30th anniversary coming up, I think now is prime time for spin-off material. We get, I don't know what it could be, Pokemon Tournament, it could be Pokemon Snap 3, it could be really anything, it could be Pokemon Ranger, I don't know. With the Switch 2, there are a lot of possibilities for spin-offs, like you could use the mouse cursor, mouse con for Pokemon Ranger, I think would be really cool. But there's a lot of potential for Pokemon spin-offs, especially when we just started the new generation, so that could be really sick. I'd like to remind you again that we will be watching this Nintendo Direct on Twitch at twitch.tv/Tootsuyama. See you there. Bye.